Hello, ladies. Sorry if you tried to click the video link I posted earlier. I had to change some information. Um, I've been talking with Viewpoint Christian Academy. They've been a big help, kind of going above and beyond what the directions say. So I'm going to jump right in. I ran into a situation today that I was really confused about, and I wasn't sure what was causing it. So I'm going to go into Gradebook. I'm going to show you what it was. Some of you may have seen this, and maybe none of you have seen what I'm going to show you. All right, so I'm going to go into a student's placement test right here. Mathematics, you'll see they're scheduled to take 6th and 7th grade. Looks perfect. We don't need to schedule them above their actual grade level. We've got them scheduled for 2 grades below their grade level. And then I'm going to expand grade 7. And here is the placement test. And everything is blocked. Well, I wasn't sure how this was supposed to work, and actually logged on to the student, and they were going to have to request that you unblock, and they were going to have to request that you unblock everything. More on that later. So I didn't know if that was a fluke or what was going on, but then I looked, it was the same here. I didn't know. So anyway, I talked to Adam Rondo from Viewpoint, and here it took a little bit, but he figured out what was going on. So we're going to go into course enrollment. I searched. I'm going to go to that student, and I'm going to click edit on their mathematics placement test, which is what we were looking at. And here are the default settings right here. If you don't do anything on this page, this is what's going to default to. I think the directions make some sort of reference of monitored assessments. But beyond that, let's explore this a little bit. So the first thing you want to do is you want to turn this to yes, and some of you had done that. Actually, I don't even know that I had done it or not. But you activate, you want monitored assessments. But what you need to do is unblock quizzes. Now, it sounds like Ignitia may actually, in some cases, have you just keep it blocked. And the idea is when the student is done with quiz, you let them go forward. But that is, as Viewpoint says, that's not very practical when you're dealing with situations where the student, may be working on it late at night and you don't have any intention of checking on your phone. They might be off with their family all day at a beach, and they are going to do their assessment later in the day. So you want to make personalized monitored assessments, yes, and then you want to uncheck the quizzes box. The other thing you want to do is to go up to pacing. The way this now sets is it's going to give on this placement test, on the math placement test, it's going to give them 3 attempts on lessons, 2 attempts on quizzes, and 1 on tests. Now, placement tests don't have tests. Most of them, such as math, does not have lessons. It just has quizzes. But the reading comprehension has lessons. So what this means is it's going to give the students 3 attempts to improve their score in reading comprehension and 2 attempts to improve their score in quizzes, and we don't want to do that. So you want to change this, but if you note, I'm trying to change that right now and it's not working. It's not letting me interact. You've got to go over here to personalized grading and pacing and click yes. And all of a sudden you see these active, and you want to change these all to 1. And you want to unblock progress. See, the way to look at this is this is like if you had a student doing a placement test here at school and you were sitting there in the room with them. Do you want them raising their hand or putting a flag up every time they want to turn a page? That's not what we want. We are not concerned about them failing, as bad as that sounds. We want to know what they learn, but we only want them to have 1 attempt, and otherwise, let them go through and do the whole thing. Okay? So you want to change these to 1, and you want to unblock the progress here and down here. Answer yes, uncheck the quizzes, and click that to yes, make these all one, unblock the progress. Then you go down and you save. Now, this was the mathematics placement test. You see it says successfully saved, changes are saved. I'm going to go back to the student. You shouldn't have to do this, but if you're a cautious type like me, I'm going to go back in and look at it. Perfect. That's what we want. So I'm going to go back to enrollment. I'm sorry, to guidebook or gradebook, if I can read. We're going to go back to gradebook. We're going to search for all the students. We're going to go down to this particular student, and we are going to expand their mathematics. And if you remember right, last time everything was blocked. There you go. They are ready to go. So they can jump on whatever they want. They can start taking this test. They can go all the way through it, and they're all set. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix the rest of them. I feel like I've had you guys do enough, but I'm doing this because you should be able to do what I just showed you. If you want to fool around and you want to go into a student setting and just see if you can duplicate what I've done, go for it. And if you can't, send me a message, because super teachers should have the ability, I gave you the ability to do individual course enrollment corrections. Now, in talking to Adam Rondeau, this is also part of a benefit because it's going to allow you to customize individual student setting. Let's say you have a student that is really poor in math, and maybe you want to block their progress in lessons. You can do that, but maybe they don't need it in other things. So you can go into a particular course, like a placement test, and you can change their settings, and that will come with time. I'm going to show you school settings, which you cannot see. This is something I set. I'm going to go to grading and pacing, and I have set this, and this will look familiar, for everything. This is why this is defaulting to placement tests. Here's the CRX pass threshold. They have to get 80, 100% on lessons, 3 attempts, block progress. Now, what I'm going to actually do is unblock the progress, because what Adam Rondeau has told me, he says he has found this causes too much extra work. So a student is expected to get 100. They get 3 attempts to do so. But if after 3 attempts they still haven't got 100%, they can continue. He says, but that's the beauty of, we can make them go back. So with time, if you start seeing a particular student is having problems in math, you can go into their settings on math and block progress on lessons, because you want to check them on everything. But do you really want to block their progress if a student gets a 95 on their first social studies, pass through a lesson, and then it has to go back and just fix that 1 or 2 questions? As he said, no, you don't need to do that. You're not worried about the student that gets an 85 or an 88%. They're okay. It's going to make them go back and fix it up to 3 times. And then you will be able to go in and see how they're doing. And so maybe you adjust it on an individual level. So here are the settings. You can see quizzes are blocked, tests are blocked, 1 attempt, 2 attempts, 3 attempts. We're just going to uncheck this, and I'm going to save this. Okay, so that's a real crash course. Hopefully this gives you a different, a little deeper understanding at how these work. I'm also going to show you something else really quick. How does this look for the student? So I'm going to go into a sample student, and here is a mathematics placement test. This is their first quiz. So this student has logged in, and they're going to take the placement test. They click the arrow. Notice what happens. Quizzes and tests must be completed once started. Attempt 1 of 1. Are you ready? I am, Or, no, I'm not. Ew, no, I don't know if I want to get into this all now. Quizzes and tests must be completed once started. No, I'm going to chicken out. You know what? This is late. It's almost supper time. I'm going to do this later tonight or tomorrow morning. And so I click out of it. All right. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how that's going to work. Hope you found this helpful. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me.